So the book I want to go over today is Psychology and Alchemy by Carl Jung. I think I said it right. Hopefully I said it right. If I didn't, please roast me in the comments. But what I like so much about this book is that it's really interesting to think about the old alchemists, because everyone thinks alchemy was, oh, those crazy kooks that wanted to turn lead into gold. But that's the surface level of it, and that's what it was represented as opposed to what it really is, which is the transmutation of your psyche into a higher consciousness, into a higher state, similar to, seeking enlightenment in, Buddhism or in Taoism. And it's all about taking your unconscious mind and bringing that to the forefront, bringing your shadow traits to the front lines, and really embracing them, and really embracing your shadow traits, so that you're not dealing with these issues that we're constantly faced with. And it's super interesting to think, because everyone just they don't really understand that alchemy was just the first self-improvement guys. It's really funny to say, but the really interesting part about this book is that Carl Jung basically goes through one of his patients' dreams. I think he goes through like 100 of them, and he really ties back these symbols that are seen in this dream to old alchemical symbols, and maybe Rosicrucian symbols and Freemason symbols. And it's just really interesting to see that, like, there's certain things that exist in the psyche that are unexplainable, and they show up everywhere. And just understanding what they represent, and understanding that the path of personal development has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And back in the day, it had to be steeped in allegories so that you wouldn't be considered a heretic by the church. But it's super interesting to see, but there's always been this journey to enlightenment, and this journey to satisfaction, and this journey to happiness that we never really address, because we don't dig deep into what things actually are. We look at the surface level. We look at alchemists as people that locked themselves away and did weird experiments, and really talked about turning lead into gold, and they put mercury in their hair, and they did all these weird things. Like, none of these things are actually true. And if you really want to go deep into it, like, look up like some of the accomplishments of the alchemists. Like, you're telling me that these people were kooks? Like, Sir Isaac Newton was an alchemist. He wrote more about alchemy than he did science. He wrote just as much about alchemy as he did religion. Like, these are well-respected people that were constantly pushing the forefront of what we thought were possible. And you look at Paracelsus too. Paracelsus is a good example, but there's just so much just weird information in this book that, like, really ties together the thoughts and the beliefs of people during the medieval ages. And it's interesting to see that, like, they understood the unconscious mind more than the average person does today. Like, the average person, if you say the unconscious mind, they don't really grasp what you're talking about. They don't understand that their mind is way more than their thoughts. Their mind is way more than the things that they do on the daily basis. Their mind also encompasses all of those things that we wanted to suppress, those parts about our personality that we have to cut off and we have to curtail to fit into society. And that these things are still active in our brain, and they're expressed in horrific ways when we get angry, or when someone cuts us off on the road, or when you're in a relationship and someone does something to you and you lash out at them, and then you feel bad about it after, and you're like, I don't know what got over me. It's like, these are the shadow traits that we aren't addressing, and these things have been understood for hundreds of years. And we are just, instead of grasping this concept, instead of looking into what the old philosophers did and the old alchemists did, we're looking for a solution in a drug. We're looking for a solution in this cause is going to be the end of suffering. This is going to be that. This is going to be that. And it's just super interesting to see that, like, the personal development journey, the going out on your own and finding your own path has been something that's been embraced by people throughout history. And just look at the accomplishments of the great alchemists. Look at the things that they've done. Look at why they're still respected to this day. And I'm telling you, it's really interesting to see that, like, they took their own path and found the same destination. They found the same thing. And there's something to be said about that, and there's something to be said about this book. And I really like this because Jung really, really, really did his homework. I mean, obviously it's Carl Jung. He's one of the smartest men who ever lived, but it's very encompassing, and it's very interesting. If you don't know anything about alchemy, it's going to be super interesting. He also goes into some occult symbolism, and that's also very interesting as well. And it's also interesting to see that it's parallel throughout the entire world, and it's not just one religion. It's just not one subsect. But yeah, I really like this book. I really think you should read it if you're interested in the things that I said, because it's a great read. I literally read it in like a week and a half because, I mean, it's really granular. It's really, I wouldn't say that it's not interesting, but it's at points like difficult to get into because it's a lot of information. But once you get going, once you get the ball rolling, it's such a fun read. So I'll leave a link to this book in the description. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know if you want me to suggest any different types of books or books that you want me to suggest that I haven't gone over yet. Thank you so much. I will catch you next one. Peace out.